fellow Dhamma follower, on Saturday and Sunday, November 28 and 29, 2018. Today's lecture is entitled Principle of the Dhamma for the teacher and the student from Chaska High School, Tracy Trosen brings students to the temple today, on Saturday, 55 students, and on Sunday, 70 students to join about Buddhism. First, I shall discuss this broad principle Dhamma Buddhist teaching using the question and answer technique. First, putting a question to you and then supplying the answer. Having heard the question first, you will find the answer easier to understand and remember. On more point, the form of my talk is designed to prepare you students for those questions when you will be asked a question by people from other country and of other regions. It will enable you to answer their question and answer them correctly without giving rise to any misunderstandings concerning the teaching. So do bear will in mind those points which constitution the essence or range kind of subject. If you manage to remember that much, will be a very good thing, and I believe a very great benefit to you all. Now I shall discuss the topic in turn. What is Buddhism? The name Buddhism comes from the word Bodhi, which means to wake up, and thus Buddhism is the philosophy of awakening. This philosophy had its origins in the experience of man, Siddhartha Gautama. Now, as the Buddha, who was himself awakened at the age of 36, Buddhism is now 2,500 years old and has about 3 million followers worldwide until 100 years ago. Buddhism was merely an ancient philosophy, but increasingly it is gaining adherents in Europe and America. And so Buddhism is just a philosophy. The word philosophy comes from two words, philo, which means love, and sophia, which means wisdom. So philosophy is the love of wisdom, or love and wisdom, both meaning describing Buddhism perfectly. Buddhism teaches that we should try to develop our intelligence capacity to the full is so that we can understand clearly. It also teaches us to develop love and kindness so that we can be like a true friend to all beings. So Buddhism is a philosophy, but not just a philosophy. It is the supreme philosophy. Some students ask me, the Buddha is dead, so how can he help us? Oh, good question. Faraday, who discovered electricity, is dead, but what he discovered still helps us. Louis Pasteur, who discovered the cures for so many diseases, is dead, but his medical discoveries still save life. Leonardo da Vinci, who created masterpieces of art, is dead, but what he created can still uplight and give joy. Noble men and heroes, many have been dead for centuries, but when we read their deeds and achievements, we can still be inspired to act as they did. Yeah, the Buddha is dead, but 2,500 years later, his teachings still help people. His example still inspire people. His words still change lives. Only a Buddha could have such power centuries after his death. Like today, the Buddha teaching about the protecting the soul, students and teacher. How students choose treat their teachers by showing their teachers proper respect, by attending to their needs, by personal service to them, by praying carefully, attention when being taught. How teachers choose treat their students by training their students to develop self-discipline, by teaching them so that they understand the lessons well, by giving them a well-balanced education, by introducing them to friends and colleagues, by helping to ensure their safety and well-being. When students and teachers treat each other in this way, the soul is protected and places of learning made peaceful and secure. How spiritual teachers choose treat their lay follower by restraining them from doing wrong, by encouraging them to do what is right, by showing them compassion, by teaching them what they do not know, by clarifying what has been taught, by showing them the way and guiding them in spiritual practice. Okay. A conclusion. Student, almost you must great learning extensive learning, skill knowledge of the arts and science, highly trained discipline, well-spoken speech, and support your mother. Okay, and the question, our treasure is thrown. Or you ask me, what are the difference between the two major schools of Buddhism, Theravada and Mahayana? Theravada means the school which maintains the original teachings of the Buddha. Its root can be tracked back to the first cousin, which was held soon after the Buddha's passing away. Hence, it is considered the oldest school. Mahayana come much later, largely speaking about 600 years after the Buddha's time. Vajrayana or Tantrayana developed from the Mahayana approximately 400 years after the beginnings of the Mahayana. Geographical Theravada is more prevalent in Sri Lanka, Burma or Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia and Laos, while Mahayana is prevalent in China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Nepal and Tibet. Theoretically, both schools share the fundamental teachings of the Four Noble Truths, etc. But Mahayana developed many more sutras as elaboration of the original teaching. Among the important Mahayana sutras are Sattha Dhamma Puntarika Sutra, Vimara Kiti Thesa Sutra, Paisacha Yaguru Sutra, etc. However, the Vinaya or monastic disciplines of both schools remains very similar. The difference in practice are primarily due to the different sociological and geographical contexts. How should one live Buddhist way of life? To live the Buddhist way of life, one should avoid doing events, perform wholesome acts, and purify one's own mind. The don'ts and do's, morals peaceful of the Buddhist way of life are as follows: to abstain from killing and develop loving kindness and compassion to all living beings, to abstain from stealing and develop right means of livelihood, to abstain from sexual misconduct and develop restraint of the senses, to abstain from lying and develop truthful speech, to abstain from intoxication and develop restraint and mindfulness. The more one can observe the above 5 precepts and 5 virtues, the more happy and peaceful life one will achieve. Furthermore, trying to purify one's own mind from greed, hatred, and delusion step by step in daily life is the ideal way for